Hello everyone, my name is Annie and I wanted to make a sort of series on this YouTube channel. Aside from all of the RVing things or travel things, just to kind of have like my own confessional area. It doesn't always have to be confessional style. Like if, I don't know, I guess that kind of sounds ominous if you say confessional, like you're confessing something terrible, but just like a place where I can talk about things that really interest me or just talk about things that I've been wanting to talk about. In this instance, this video, I really wanted to talk about Run Disney because it's something that I personally finally was able to experience, and I really had an amazing time, and I know that a lot of people want to try Run Disney or really just want to go, or maybe you're going to be part of the cheer squad for somebody and you kind of want to know what it's like and what the experience is like. So I just really wanted to, I guess, share that with you all. The run that I did was it was last year, 2018. It was the Wine and Dine 10K. I had never ever done a 10K before in my life. I'm kidding. I did a 10K when I was maybe 8 or 9, and it was the March of Dimes, and I don't know why. I don't know why I would be part of a 10K because I was so young, but I think we did it with some sort of, I don't know if it was like church or something. I was really young. And I got picked up at the end because I didn't run all the way. I honestly had no idea what 10K was, so I probably just gave up halfway, but I don't really consider that a real race. The only other race that I've ever participated in was a 5K, and that was a Mercedes-Benz 5K in Miami. I think it's Miami Beach or downtown Miami or something like that. That's the only real one that I've ever been a part of. And so going in knowing that a 5K is like around a little over 3 miles, I don't know why I decided to bite the bullet and just say I'm gonna do a full on 10K. And so I decided, like I said, to start, and I said, you know what, I have just around 6-7 months to train for this. I never really liked running, actually. I never really enjoyed it, especially on the treadmill or at the gym. I used to go to the gym a lot, and I never really got into it. And then I started running outside, and I just slowly began falling in love more with the scenic part of running. So just like the trees and the feeling of the air, and I mean, I could go on forever about that, and I started really getting into it. I said, you know what, I'm gonna train, and I actually bought my boyfriend his registration entrance because I honestly didn't think that he'd want to pay for it. I was like, you know, if he doesn't want to go, or if he doesn't want to do it because he has to pay for it, then will I have enough motivation to do it myself? And so I figured, you know what, I'm just going to pay for his, and if he likes it, then maybe he'll be into it next time, and to see if I liked it. Because honestly, doing any other sort of races, it kind of interests me. Like, I always felt like it'd be okay to do it, but I never got excited about it. And when I found out that Disney actually had races, I was like, oh, that's interesting, because I basically found out about it in 2013 or 2014, and I kind of like, I heard about it and I was like, oh, if I was ever into racing. I remember finding out about the Walt Disney World Marathon, which I had no idea had a 5K, a 10K, half marathon, a marathon. I thought it was just a marathon, and I'm like, I can't believe people are actually gonna run like 20 something miles to go to Disney. Like, you practically already walk a million miles anyway, so why would you want to run? And I didn't understand it, honestly. But then as the years progressed, I thought, okay, well, maybe this is kind of cool, so let me go ahead and try. So like I said, I go to Disney every year, multiple times a year. Me and my boyfriend are annual pass holders. I've been an annual pass holder for many years. I can't even count. And so I was like, you know what, we already have the annual passes, so if we want to do any of the parks, it's going to be fine. It's the Food and Wine Festival, and I go there every year, so I might as well go this time, like might as well go at the same time and then just do the run and see how, if I like it, and then I'll do the food and wine, and we'll just kill two birds with one stone, essentially, right? So I decided that it was a good idea, and I purchased, like I said, the tickets for my boyfriend and I, and we decided to go. And so we were gonna prep and plan, and we were gonna run and all of these things, and then months and months started passing, you know, that I wasn't really training that much. So I would run in the beginning every day. I would run, and then after a while just kind of slowly started not running as often. It went down to maybe 5 times a week, and then 3 times a week, and then twice a week, and then once a week. And when I was getting to the deadline, essentially, I didn't feel like I had a lot of practice. I didn't feel like I had done the training that I should have been doing. And I got pretty nervous at that point, and I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? You know, I've never ran over 6 miles consecutively. Am I gonna be able to make it? Are they going to pick me up? Do they give medals to people that have to get picked up at the end? I mean, would I even want a medal at that point because I didn't finish it if I don't do this? Essentially, I was really lacking in self-confidence in that aspect, because I really didn't think that I was gonna do it. I didn't think that I was gonna make it. My boyfriend is a sporty kind of guy. He, not in the sense of like he's played every sport ever, but he's just fairly good at any type of sport. He's really good at soccer, and he, you know, he plays golf as well, but he is just very athletic in that sense that he could just, I don't know, you tell him to play basketball and he'll know how to do it. So, and he runs, obviously playing soccer constantly, so the kid can outrun me, outbreathe me, out everything me. So I knew that it wasn't going to be that much of a big deal for him. If it were, I probably would have just signed him up for the cheer package, but I knew that he plays soccer twice a week, and I don't honestly know how he does it, because maybe I'm that out of shape that I can't keep up with him, right? So I knew that it wasn't going to be a big deal, and I had asked him beforehand, and he also said that it wasn't going to be a big deal for him. So we were kind of aware of that. So even though I was kind of freaking out, he totally wasn't. He knew that he was going to be okay. Well, the week of the momentous week is upon us at that time. At that time. And I remember being really nervous, because I had told everybody that I was going to do the race, and I didn't want to, not disappoint everyone, but I just didn't want people to kind of say, oh, she didn't make it, you know. We knew that, and I guess and I don't know if anybody would have said that anyway. It was just me in my mind. I was like, oh my goodness, am I gonna be able to do this? Is this gonna be a thing that people laugh about like forever? Am I gonna be able to laugh about it if I don't make it? So I was pretty nervous going into it, and we were on our way there. We left on a Thursday. And my plan was to go to the expo on Thursday, because I get out fairly early from, my boyfriend and I both get out fairly early from work, so we get off at 3:30, but we had taken a couple of hours, we had done overtime or taken off a couple of hours, I don't know how we did it, in order to leave by 12. So I was like, okay, perfect, so we'll leave Thursday at 12, and then we'll get to the expo, we'll go straight to the expo, we'll get there by like 4, and then we will, you know, go to the expo, do all the whole expo thing, and then on Friday we'll have the whole day to relax and be at the pool and whatever we wanted to do, and then Saturday was a race, and then Sunday, so on and so forth. We didn't get there on time on Thursday because there was a gnarly accident. There usually is accidents for some horrible reason. Going to Orlando, I guess it's like the commute. Florida doesn't really have a lot of big cities. We have Miami, Orlando in the center, and I mean, I think those are like the biggest main cities in Florida. Maybe the Keys. So those are like 4 hours apart. So the Keys, from the Keys to Miami, it's 4 hours. From Miami to Orlando, it's 4 hours. And then between there, you kind of have scattered cities that they're pretty small. So a lot of people commute, and there's always a lot of accidents. So essentially, we didn't make it on time. So we got there past 7 p.m. And so we're like, you know, we're just gonna relax and we're gonna just go to downtown Disney and do that. So we did. We got to the hotel and then we went to downtown Disney. We had dinner. We had dinner at the boathouse, I believe, or we had like something at the Raw Bar. I think we had just oysters and lobster, and just like totally pigged out there. And it was really packed. So you guys, when you go to these Run Disney events, it is jam-packed. There are events everywhere. Downtown Disney is like, there's performers, there's bars. I didn't even know, I guess now since they expanded it, downtown Disney, there were like these little carts, kind of like in Universal Studios and City Walk, where they have these little like kiosk type bars. They had those, which I'd never seen those before, because I don't like going on very busy weekends, because Disney, as most of you may know, gets really crazy. So I was realizing just how packed it was. And then you see people with all the like their race shirts, you know, like they have those pre-made shirts. And we had a really fun time. So after that, you know, we just went back to the hotel, we relaxed and went to bed. And the next day was the expo, and I was so excited for the expo. I was so excited to see all of the goodies and the things that people like. You know, they have the unofficial merch and then they have the official merch. Guys, the official merch is so expensive. It's so expensive. Like, I saw shirts from like Reebok and Nike for like $100, and I was just like, don't get me wrong, if I'm gonna wear it more than once, I'm gonna buy it. But most of the things that I liked personally were like the themed complete outfits, like Minnie, and I just couldn't imagine myself wearing an entire Minnie getup around my block in Miami and just like running around like dressed up as Minnie. So or Goofy or Pluto, even though they're super cute, and I would probably buy pieces separately. But just prepare your wallets if you do want to splurge there, because there's a lot of opportunity to splurge. The unofficial merch is very cute. It's not as expensive, and they're very original and very not that Disney merchandise isn't, obviously they both are. I'm just, I guess, weighing out the price points of it. So very original, very cute, very different. They kind of really think of individuality, and they have literally everything that you could ever want there. They have socks, shirts, jewelry, basically anything. They had like a little food stand inside the, I think it was the sponsor. I think they had like one area inside that was like the sponsor, where they had like Citizen, which was a sponsor of it, which I have right here. They have all of these little games that you can play, and then you can get, I guess, some goodies. This is a sweat towel, and it has like the Disney logo and then the Citizen logo. I've never used it, and somehow I managed, I think it felt like by my car, I managed to get like a little spot on it. But so they had a bunch of that. They had most of the sponsors, like the food sponsors, like I think it was Go Squeeze and just a bunch of really cool stuff that honestly I don't think I bought anything that year. I didn't like I said, it was my first time. I didn't expect to really like want to spend so much money on running gear, because I didn't think that I was gonna like it, and I hadn't really seen a lot of vlogs, so I didn't know what I was going to expect. So you know, now I probably will, but then that was then, this is now. I'm a whole different person. And so we went in. It's really overwhelming. I don't know if I have any videos of it. I don't think I recorded anything there. I just went for the experience the first time, but from now on I will be vlogging all of my Disney trips and all of my Run Disney experiences. But this is more, like I said, like a confessional. It's not a vlog style. So we did that. We went through all of the information. What you do when you get there, the first thing you have to do, you have to get there before 7 p.m. You have to get there before 7 p.m. before your race, obviously, in order to get your bib. So if your race is on Friday, you have to be there on Thursday, Saturday, you have to be there on Friday, so on and so forth. So since our race was a 10K and that was on Saturday, we had to be there on Friday, but luckily we came Thursday. We just didn't make it in time to go to the expo by that time, but we immediately went to sign our waiver, and if you didn't print it out at home and sign it at home, that's okay. They have a bunch of stations where you kind of just click in, you type in your birth date, and then you put in, I think you input your name or something, and then it pulls out your registration. And then it's like a registration or like a waiver. I forget exactly what it is. I'm pretty sure it's the waiver. And then you sign it, and they have pens there, and then you turn it in. There are these kiosk style booths, and then they have like the corral letters. And so your page will come up with your corral letter, and you go there, and then they'll give you your bib and your race packet there. And the race packet, I can't recall. I don't think it really had much in there. They just gave you this Run Disney clear bag, and this is what you're gonna use when you go to the race. And whatever you carry in your hand or in your pocket that you do not want to race with, you just put it in here, and you take it to the people once you're ready to go into your corral, or before you go into your corral, and they store it for you, and they give you like a little ticket, and then you go and you race, and when you're done, you come back and you pick up your bag. So it's, you know, if you want to stay at the park, or if you have like a sweater, or if you have just things that you don't want to carry with you during the race, you can just put them in there. I had no idea. Like I said, I didn't read up like on anything, and I honestly was just in it for the race and just to experience it, and I had no idea. So I'm like, why are they giving me this bag? I don't need this bag. I'm gonna leave everything in the room. I bought myself, I did buy that at the unofficial merch. I bought myself like a little fanny pack, a running fanny pack, and I really love it. I'm gonna bring it. So this is my fanny pack that I purchased at the unofficial merch store. It doesn't have the brand on it, so I can't really tell you where it is, but I basically it's like really stretchy and very comfortable to wear. And I stored lip balm in here, and my credit cards, and I stored my ID. I stored some gummies for the run, just in case I was fatigued or something, which I wasn't. I didn't even need them. And some gum, and I just, and then the card for the hotel. So I stored all of that in here, and this was a good buy. It was, I don't know if it was $15 or $20, but it was a good buy, and it matches essentially with whatever. So we did that, and like I said, I didn't really know much about Run Disney because I didn't do my homework on it. I also didn't know that if you do not submit your proof of time, you would be in the last corral. I know that it said submit your proof of time, but I thought it was really for if you can run over the 15 minute per mile pace. And I figured that I might be able to do that, but like I said, when I started getting closer to the date, I didn't know. I essentially did not submit my proof of time, and when I got my race packet, I was in the very last corral. And my corral was so big, it was corral F. It was so big that it was divided into like 5 or 6 mini subsections of the corral. Luckily, I wasn't the very last one, but I was almost the last one. We didn't start running till 6 a.m. So that should give you some, mind you, I think the race starts at 5 or 5:30. So, and it's just like back to back. So like once one corral goes, the next one will go maybe a couple minutes after. And they do the fireworks for every they do the fireworks for every single corral. So I have really sensitive ears, so I had to wear these like little earplugs. I know it's like a thing. I've had really sensitive ears my whole life, and these weren't that bad. It's not like the wishes or, you know, like an actual fireworks show or something. But at the beginning, I was kind of like, what? I didn't even know they had fireworks when they would, you know, send off a corral. So after a while, after hearing all the corrals going and the subsections of each corral, I was just like, oh my god, okay, it's not that bad. So that we went to sleep early. I don't know if we ate at a specific restaurant on that trip. I think we did. I'm pretty sure we did. We had I don't know if we had reservations at Artist Point and we canceled them and we went somewhere else, but now I can't recall. If I remember, I'll let you know somewhere here. So we basically ate and then we went to sleep at around 10 o'clock, and we weren't really tired, but we knew that we had to wake up fairly early, which we did. I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I was like so excited. I'm not a morning person when I have to wake up too early. Like if I wake up at 7 or 8, I'm fine. But when I have to wake up like that, you know, and I have to be in a rush, I'm not a morning person. And I was just so excited and happy. I just got up and I was like, okay, I'm ready, let's go. My outfit was really simple. Chris and I were, we were Boo and Mike Wazowski. And we even took a picture that made us look just like, not made us look like, we did like the whole pose when we got our medals, that we looked like a certain picture from Mike Wazowski and of Mike Wazowski and Boo. So I'll be able to put that in here hopefully. The night before, we went to the Skipper's Canteen in Magic Kingdom because we spent the day at Magic Kingdom. That was Friday. We spent the day at Magic Kingdom. And so we ate there. It was so good, you guys. Oh, it was so good. If I have pictures, I'll insert it here. It was amazing. They have these like little tostada kind of things. I forgot what they were made out of, but they were excellent. The food there was really, really good. If we go back, I'm sure I'm going to start vlogging more and I'll show you more of the food that we eat as well. So we woke up on Saturday at 3 a.m. and my outfit was really simple. It was just purple leggings and this oversized t-shirt to look like Boo. I put my hair up in a ponytail because my hair is very long and I felt like maybe if I did it this way, it wasn't like if I put the 2 pigtails, it wasn't going to look good. And then Chris just dressed up with him. I actually made him his t-shirt and I cut out like the felt to make it look like Mike Wazowski. I cut out his eye and like his mouth, and there was some manual labor that went into that shirt. And then I own a Monster University cap and he wore that as well. So the actual morning of the race, we drove to Epcot, and at Epcot you take the buses from there and they take you, or it's Magic Kingdom, I believe. I think it was Magic Kingdom. Yeah. No, it's Epcot. You drive to Epcot. The buses take you from Epcot to Magic Kingdom because that's where the race starts. So we saw kind of like all the little vendors and everything that they were also setting up at the same time, which is crazy. And we ran. Basically, we started the race. We were like I was mentioning, we were almost the last, we're the last corral, but almost the last subsection of that corral. So definitely submitting my proof of time next time. So we started the race finally, and I was kind of full of energy. I was very anxious and nervous, so I was full of energy, and I started my first mile pretty good. I was keeping not an average pace. I was almost sprinting because I was so nervous, and I was like, I have to make as much time as I can in this first mile. That way, if I do slow down later, it won't be that bad. And I don't think that was a good idea, because I basically was winded by mile 2. So we were really into the race, and my boyfriend really wanted to make amazing time, but I really couldn't keep up with him. I think that he would have flew by me. I know he would have flown by me. We didn't stop to take pictures with anyone since we were the very last corral. By the time we were running, the lines for the porta potties were insane. You'd probably have to wait 30 minutes to use the restroom, and you're already in the race. So I know these people, you know, they didn't really care about the time, and that's totally fine. Or maybe they're really fast runners, I don't know. I made it a conscious effort to use the restroom before the race. And so the lines were very crazy. I'm not trying to exaggerate. They look like you'd be there for 30 minutes. And then you had the lines for the character meetups, which is, if I'm gonna waste my time in a line, obviously if you really, really have to go, I mean, what are you gonna do, right? But the character lines, I'd be like, okay, I'll wait for that. But we didn't. We were really focused on trying to make it before 2 hours. We wanted to do the 6 miles before 2 hours. And we were running, and like I said, by mile 2, I was kind of winded, and I was just, oh my God, I'm not gonna do this. I can't, this is it, I can't do this. I mean, maybe I'll make it to 3 miles, but I don't know about 6, I'm already so tired. My boyfriend was very motivating, and he was like, you know, he would stop, and he never, not that he would, I mean, who would get mad if you can't go fast enough, but he was just like, okay, no problem, we'll stop. And, you know, he just kind of was like, okay, you know, let's take our time, breathe, are you okay? And after mile 2, I was like, okay, you know, like I was still like at mile 2.5. And I was like, okay, I think I went way too fast that first mile. Let's, you know, like, I really didn't practice all the way up to 6 miles whenever I ran, so I wasn't really used to this kind of running. So I was like, okay, mile 2.5, we're gonna do this. So started running at a nicer speed, and I would do kind of like the run method. So I would run at a normal speed that I could keep up with, and then when I was feeling out of breath, I would walk, and then I would continue to do so. And honestly, what really motivated me, which was really, really strange, was other people passing me. I'm not a competitive person in that sense, and I didn't think of it as like, oh, they're passing me, I gotta pass them. I thought of it more like, if they can do it, then I can do it. And every time someone would pass me, I would just think, if they're behind me and they can do it, then I can do it. And that really motivated me so much. I don't know why I'd never experienced that before, because it wasn't like in a negative way. You know, it was kind of like, okay, they can do it, I can do this too. And it really helped me a lot to get into the 3rd mile at a good pace. I could make it to the 3rd mile, but at a good pace. By mile 4, I was angry and I was hangry, and this is only mile 4. And I remember there was this time where my boyfriend was like, you know, he saw that I was kind of struggling because I didn't want to talk. My hands were like icicles because it was just around, I don't know, by mile 4, maybe it was like 7 o'clock or something like that. And it was in November, and it was particularly chilly that morning. It did get warmer obviously throughout the day, but it wasn't warm in the morning, and my hands were icicles and they were hard and frozen, and I was just like, oh my goodness, how do people do this in the Walt Disney World Marathon weekend, which is in January? How do they do this? And my hands were just like, I looked like a little robot. And my boyfriend kind of went to like, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm fine, just don't touch me. I'm fine, just don't touch me, because I just was so irritated at that point. I was just like, oh my goodness, I'm not gonna do this. When we got into Epcot and I saw that sunrise, or when the sun was rising, and the pink and the blue and the purple, I think this was runner's high, honestly, because I've seen that sunrise, and not sunrise, but I've seen that sunset a million times in all of the parks. But I remember thinking to myself, this has to be a runner's high, because this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. And it's just like a mass of people, and they're all dressed up, and we're all collectively dying and collectively in awe of Disney and its beauty. And the music is playing in the background, and everyone is smiling. Like, their faces look like you can bury them, because, you know, put a fork in them, they're done. But they're all so happy, and it kind of boosts your morale as well. And then there are people who are lined up all on the side, and they're just like, you know, spectators, and they woke up super early to see their family, or there were people there that were for like organizations, like for charity organizations. There were people that worked there. There were cheer squads, and there were volunteers. There were bands from high school who were there so early. And it was just amazing. It was amazing. And maybe it's a permanent high that I'm always going to have, but I just remember that memory so fondly. It was magical. And just running through the parks at a time where you know that nobody is supposed to be there is also pretty cool. So that was really exciting for me. So literally from mile 4 to mile 6, I was having a blast. I wasn't tired. I wasn't cranky or mad or irritable or wishing it was over. I actually didn't want it to be over. I was saying, we're almost there, but I was like, no, I don't want it. I don't want it to be over. But I was also feeling like I was gonna make my time. At the end, when we finally got to the finish line, it was this moment of pure bliss, and I just felt so accomplished. And we did make it. It was before 2 hours. So I don't recall. Maybe like an hour 45, I think. I don't remember. But we made it either at 2 hours or before. So like from 1:45 to 2 hours. And I just felt so amazing. And we got the medals, obviously. So the theme for the 10K was Sebastian and the chef. Hopefully you can see that. So it has 10K, it has Sebastian running away from the chef, and this is the band, and it has Walt Disney World, and then it says Disney's Wine and Dine. Well, this one says Walt Disney World with a chef in 2018, and then on the other side it has the Wine and Dine 10K with Sebastian on it. And then it was presented by Misfit on this year. So you can also get your time and your place engraved on the back. I don't know if you could see that. But since we were in the last corral, it kind of would have, I mean, for me, to put my time and place, they're going to be like, oh, you took how? And I'm like, no, I didn't take that long. It was actually because I didn't start right on, on time. But I love this so much because it's Disney, it's a collectible, it's mine, I earned it. And I really want to have more of them, and I really want to do it again. After that, we got to the hotel, so they give you like this box, and they give you bananas. I only had one banana. Chris and a lot of other people were asking for double banana, and the people were so nice. The ones handing out the bananas were like, you want one, you want more than one, you want two, are you okay, are you cramping? They had like this section where it was like the medic section, and you can get ice, or people were wrapping any sort of injuries that they had. Luckily we were okay with that. But after you got your medal, and they gave you the box with your goodies in it, which had like nachos and like I think whole wheat chips. It had I think it was acai and chia seed kind of fruit bar, and some trail mix, and I can't recall what else. I ate, I think, half of the box, and then I saved the rest for later. We went up and we took our picture together for, you know, like behind the actual Wine and Dine 10K poster that Disney does, and they take the picture of you. And after that we went back to the hotel, and I started really feeling my legs. They were beginning to feel like jello. They hurt a lot because I'm not used to running so much. And when I got to the hotel, my legs were just like throbbing. I was like, oh my goodness, I don't know if we're gonna be able to go to the parks today. I don't know. We made it back to the hotel at around 9. We were in the hotel at 9, and I took a shower. I first started with hot water, and then I finished with really cold water, and I iced my calves because they were hurting for maybe 5 or 10 minutes while I was watching something on the TV, and then I fell asleep. We both fell asleep until 3 in the afternoon. 2 or 3, I believe. So we fell asleep. We woke up at around 2, and then we decided let's just go to Epcot, and I had just purchased this really cute sweater, and we changed, and we went to the Food and Wine Festival because obviously we really wanted to go anyway, and we had a really good time at the Food and Wine Festival. As usual, I go every year, like I mentioned, and it's amazing, and I really, really enjoy it. Would I do another Run Disney event? Yes, and I think I mentioned that already in the video. Of course, I am super, 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 super excited. I did those races, I did the race in 2018, and that was the last race of the year. As you all know, they have the Walt Disney World race in January, the Princess Marathon in February, the Star Wars in April, and the Wine and Dine in November. Usually, hopefully those dates still apply when I post this video, but I didn't know about I don't know if I knew the exact dates of the Walt Disney World one, but I asked Chris if he really liked the run, and he said he really enjoyed it. He enjoyed the trip, he enjoyed the food, he enjoyed the race, he enjoyed everything. And so I was like, okay, you know, we're gonna do it again if that's okay with you, if you liked it that much. He was like, yeah, for sure. And so we were planning on going to the Star Wars one. So we kind of foregoed on basically the first 2 races and said we're gonna do Star Wars. So by the time it was registration time for the Star Wars one, we missed it, and even then we'd have to take a lot of PTO, I think 2 or 3 days, because the 10K is on Thursday, so we need to be there by Wednesday, and we need to be there before 7, so we would have to take 3 days off of work. And so, you know, I was like, no, that's fine. So we decided to skip that one, and then I was like, let's skip the Princess one and just do Star Wars. But then now we're taking a trip, hopefully, not 100% sure, but we're taking a trip to Canada in May, so we're like, maybe we shouldn't do the Star Wars one. And now we're not doing that one either. So I'm tentatively but actively planning on doing the Wine and Dine 2019. So I really want to do that one again. And then we are planning on doing the Disney Princess in 2020. So that's maybe, let me see, it'd be in February. So December would pass, January would pass. Yeah, just around 2 months later after that is the, 2 to 3 months later is the Princess. And then we're going to do the Star Wars one. And then maybe we'll do the Wine and Dine again in 2020. So I'm just preparing all of that. I've already started looking at the prices for the next one. I've already picked all of our outfits for our themes for each race. I haven't purchased any of the outfits. I kind of just go by once I purchase the tickets, then I get the hotel, then I get our outfits. No, then I plan the restaurants or whatever we're gonna do, and then I pick our outfits. So that's the plan. And thank you so much for listening to me rant about this race and my aspirations to continue racing for Disney, racing in Disney. And I hope that this gave you any sort of information, as little as it might have been. I hope it was informative, even if in the slightest. And thank you guys so much for watching. Take care.